Merchants travel with their heavy loads across the remote heights of the Himalayas. And who's doing all the work as you navigate through the dense fog? That's right, yaks. Thanks for joining us at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows. Today we're traversing the heights of the Himalayas in order to build navigational stone towers and exchange goods with the traveling merchants as we play Yak from Pretzel Games.
Yak is a Rondelle-based set collection game from designer Michael Liu with art from Chris Quillams. It's a 2 to 4 player game that takes about 30 minutes to play, and it features some super fun components.
Each turn in the game, players can choose from 3 different actions that they will select simultaneously but then reveal in turn order.
Players can collect up to 8 of one type of resource from the cart in front of them. They can pay specific resources in order to purchase stones, or they can choose stones from the bag to place into a cart and then take resources from the central market.
Then, before the next turn, all of the yaks will pull their carts into the next spot, giving players new options to choose from.
One thing to watch out for in the game is the fog. Anytime a white block is drawn from the bag, all the yaks will switch directions.
The goal of the game is to build your stone tower in a way that will score you lots of points. Stones will score based on the size of groupings of like-colored stones, as well as the number of different colored sets you have of at least 2 stones.
And then a bonus is awarded if you reach the top first, and if you play with the Master Builders variant, there are additional random bonuses that you can add as well. In the game Yak, the elders in your village have tasked you with building a stone tower to help all of the traveling yaks be able to navigate the Himalayas. And your goal is to trade with merchants in order to be able to get those stones, stack yours up in the way that makes the most points, and ultimately be the hero of your village, I guess.
Yep, each round everyone will choose one of those 3 cards. Everybody has the same 3 cards to choose from, and then when you take your turn, you'll reveal your card and take the actions on it. So there will always be an action that has to do with gaining or exchanging the goods that the carts have, and you can hold up to 8 in your own little yurt on your own player board. And then each card also has some type of action that interacts with the stones in the game. So you'll either be placing more out in the carts, or you may possibly be adding them to your tower.
Now, one of the things about the game that is pretty neat is that you've got this rondelle where the yaks are going around, and you can kind of see what's going to be coming your way. Each cart has kind of a limitation on it as to what they will be willing to trade you in order to get those stones. And so most of the time you can anticipate that, oh, I'm going to be getting the no milk cart in a second, so I'm going to spend all my milk right now so that I can spend my bread on the next turn. However, when the fog hits and everything switches directions, all your plans are thwarted and you are left, having to collect more resources because the cart that's in front of you won't accept your trades anymore.
So endgame scoring will be based on how you have constructed those stones in your tower. You'll get points for touching stones of the same color. There is a wild light blue stone that's in the game. Those cost 1 extra to try and purchase each time that you get one. But they can be assigned whatever color you'd like to try and gain the most points. There's 2 different ways each stone is going to score. One is going to be if you have at least sets of 2 of the same color touching, those will all score a point amount. The more that you get in that grouping will be more points. And then there's also a scoring mechanism for each group of 2 or more that is touching in your tower. Those will all score as well, and there's a little scale on your player board that has the point values for those. If you have any leftover stones, those are all just a single point each, and there's a bonus at the end if you have a lot of food left over, or if you are the first to complete your tower, you get a bonus for that as well.
Yeah, I will say that this game is a family weight game, so it's got very simple mechanics. You play one of these 3 cards, you collect a block, or you collect resources. The only part about the game that is a little potentially confusing is the scoring in the game. They give you like an entire Excel sheet that you have to do all your tabulations on.
I didn't think it was that bad.
It's not difficult. The problem is, like, we played this with our kids and they did great understanding everything about the game in general, but then when it came down to the end of the game, they didn't quite grasp that they had to have like all the blocks touching in order to score 2, and that if you had a set of 4, it was going to be way more valuable than 3. So while it's really easy to explain, like on your turn, pick a card, do a thing, it does get a little confusing. Honestly, even for me, when you've got a couple of those crystal blocks, the ones that are wild, figuring out like, does it score more as the 3 of a kind over here, or if I tied it to this and make it 4, but then I have a fewer sets over here? Like there's some definite mental mathematical hoops you got to jump through at the end of the game in order to actually figure out which score is going to give you the best points.
Yeah, some people may have some issues with colors. The light blue and the dark blue are a little bit similar. So I could see how some groups, or in poor lighting, it would be a little more difficult if you just you're going to randomly pull cubes out of the bag the whole game. So those stones, if you get them in your hand, is this that color or the other one? I felt like the orangey colors seemed fine to differentiate, but I could see how some of them may be difficult in certain lighting situations. I did like their color choices as far as like, they're not the standard red, green, blue, yellow. It made a nice aesthetic. They used a lot of colors, I think, from the painting and illustration of the game board, which is very beautiful. I did appreciate that, but I felt like there could have been some other choices that could have been made.
Yeah, I'm on board with that as well. I definitely felt like there's plenty of other colors that could have been added in here. I got 2 blues, 2 oranges, 2 grays.
They did try and make it the crystal that would be maybe reflect something else.
It could have been a rainbow, or who knows what it was. It could have been anything. It's not like a super stumbling block in the game, but especially like some of those gold cards say, like if you don't have any oranges, you get 0 points. Well, is it just the dark orange? Is this the bright color orange? The picture doesn't quite match the block color. It's close, you can figure it out, but it's a tiny tweak. I could have had some purple blocks or something and been just fine.
Overall, I think our family did enjoy this game. The components themselves are very, very well done. It does make a nice table presence, and it looks beautiful on your table. The yaks and the carts are very heavy duty. Like the cart itself is plastic, and I believe the yak is wooden.
The yak is heavy duty plastic.
Yeah, heavy duty plastic.
Plastic and cardboard.
Plastic, and then it has little cardboard insets so you know what type of resources aren't used for that cart.
Yeah, in the table flip, this one would be dangerous. They're like heavy duty plastic. Yeah, Table Presence is great. It is a lot of fun. It's very easy to jump into and play. If Yak looks like something that you'd be interested in, you can check it out from Pretzel Games. And as always,
a Asmodee subsidy.
Yeah, for sure. As per the usual. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and thumbs up and liking our videos and all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one. In the game Yak, you are a villaged local. In the game Yak, the elders have assigned you and tasked you with the job of.
But paying attention to how those... Let me start over.
Who's doing all the work as you navigate through the design fog's dense? And who's doing all the work as you navigate through the dense fog? That's right. Yeah.